Okay, it seems to be the time. So very excited to be here. My name's Steve Roses. I'm with my colleague, Tim Hoagie. And so, hi, Tim. And big turnout for today's demo. So I'm very excited. So today we're going to be talking about case law research on HeinOnline. A lot of you are subscribers to HeinOnline Academic. Some are subscribers to a few of you are law school subscribers to our US Academic Core. And then we have others who don't subscribe to anything. And then we have others who are on trial for various collections. So pleased to make your acquaintance. So if you subscribe to HeinOnline Academic or you subscribe to the US Academic Core that the law school subscribe to, or if you are on trial for HeinOnline Academic, or if you've ever seen HeinOnline, you may know, of course, that we have our very large journal library that we have we have soon to be 3,000 journals, but we have over 2,900 journals. We have government documents of all types. You're familiar with that probably. And we also have books. We have monographs and books in our legal classics component, which is right here. And in addition to all of that, we have case law. And one of the places that we have case law is the US Supreme Court Library. And that's because we have every single US Supreme Court case. And I like to start that first because in many cases, that's the most researched aspect of case law. If we're ever looking for a description of what we have in terms of US Supreme Court case law, we can click on the I next to here and we have every single Supreme Court case. Of course, we have lower federal court cases and we have state case law as well, but I'm going to start by showing US Supreme Court. So we're going to open up the US Supreme Court Library. And now we have the US Supreme Court Library. Now, if we were browsing this, we could look here. We have this, here's where all the titles are that are in the US Supreme Court Library. We have the official reports, so every Supreme Court case. We have books about the Supreme Court. We have periodicals regarding the Supreme Court. We have Congressional Research Service reports, rules of the Supreme Court, and additional resources. Now here is where you would go to sort of the most searched cases. We have highlighted for you under landmark cases. So if you were looking for Roe versus Wade, you just click here and it'll take you to Roe versus Wade. If you were looking for Plessy v. Ferguson, you just click here and it'll take you there. If you were looking for Gideon versus Wainwright, you would get there. So let's open Gideon versus Wainwright so we can actually see full text Supreme Court case. And this is going to be, there are two sources of case law in HeinOnline. One is the case law that we've always had on HeinOnline, the Supreme Court case law, and that is through the regular HeinOnline platform. And then there's something called Fastcase. And Fastcase Basic is part of, if you were to subscribe to HeinOnline Academic, or if you're a law school and you get the US Academic Core Plus, Fastcase Basic is part of the subscription. And then there's a higher level of Fastcase that's available on HeinOnline called Fastcase Premium. And that gives you some additional case law search methods. Now, I should tell you that my internet is very slow. I have one daughter who's a student, and my wife is teaching piano, and both of them are taking the bandwidth. So my internet is actually stuck right now. It is not moving, and that's unfortunate, but I'm going to try to reboot and try to fix that. And this is one of the pitfalls of working from home during the pandemic. I'm sure you've all experienced it. Now I can't even get back onto the site, but let me see. I'm going to try. In the meantime, as I'm trying to get back onto the internet, why don't we talk amongst ourselves? Oh, here I am. I'm back on HeinOnline. Anyway, so I just noticed that there's some chats messages. So here, closing out some tabs. That's a good idea. Thank you. I'm going to close out a few tabs here. And here we are in the landmark cases. Now let's, again, hopefully this will work. I'm going to click on a random case that I was going to pick. In this case, let's pick Roe versus Wade. Now, if my computer's stuck for more of a period on this, I will switch to my colleague, Tim Hoagie, or we'll find a way to do that, but we'll give this a few seconds. Yes, so that's a good idea. Tim, are you on the line?
Yep. Oh, here you go, Steve. You just loaded up.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll just have that in the back of our mind if there's more problems, but and we could switch to Tim's computer. But anyway, here's Roe versus Wade. So we have this. This is from HeinOnline. Notice it looks just like a PDF. Notice that it has all the original pagination. You could, at the click of a button, change this to the OCR text. So you can work with it however you want, either the PDF or the OCR text. Regardless, it's fully searchable. You'll notice that there's blue hypertext linking in here. So for example, if there's a case mentioned within this case, which of course there is, or a statute, as in the case of this USC citation, or if there were another article, anything, or government document, if it's blue hypertext links, you can click to that and seamlessly go to that document. Now, because this is a decision, this is going to have both the majority decision as well as the dissent. And this is, of course, one of the most used decisions on HeinOnline. And if you wanted to download, you click here. If you wanted to print, you would click here. If you wanted to email this case to another user, you could click here. And it doesn't have to be someone who subscribes. It could be a temporary link to this case. As I said, this is how you change it to the OCR text, and you could toggle back and forth between looking at the image and looking at the OCR text. If you wanted a permanent link to this case, for example, you were using this for a syllabus, or you wanted to always have a link to this, you can get a permanent link by clicking here on permalink. And also, I should tell you that if you're a subscriber and you haven't yet filled out a branding form, fill out a free branding form and it'll make your permanent links work remotely as well as on campus. So it's just a free form. I can send it to anyone who's interested in that, and that will make your permalinks work remotely. If you want to save this case, you can just save it to your MyHein bookmarks. Every individual user can create a MyHein bookmarking tool. You just click here, and you can set up a profile right here at the top. And so that allows you to create a username and password, which every individual user can use to save the cases or documents that they found on HeinOnline. You can change, of course, change the image around. You can increase the page size, make it smaller. You can make this full screen, etc. Now here you might notice these are the cases cited within this case. And you might notice it says something called OYE. And OYE or OYE is well, it's a court term, but it's also a group that we have a partnership with. Originally, they worked through Chicago Kent, and now I believe they work through Cornell. And they supply recordings of the audio transcript of cases. So if you wanted to listen to the oral arguments, not only of Roe versus Wade, but of cases cited within Roe versus Wade, basically from the late 50s onward, you can get that when you click on OYE. So that's a neat little feature to be aware of. If you want to change this back from the full screen, you just click on that. If you want to cite this case, you could click here, and now it has all these different formats. Notice the blue book format, but even if you were in Canada, the McGill format, and if you were using just something like MLA or Chicago, we have that in this format as well. And we work with RefWorks, we work with EndNote, we work with Zotero, and we work with Noodle Tools, all of those. Also, we work with major discovery layers. I should tell you about that as well. Let's show you another search also in the Supreme Court cases, and then we'll go to an advanced search and so forth. And I want to show you the sort of the Fastcase premium features. So if we were doing an advanced search looking in the Supreme Court library, you'd go to advanced search here, and you notice you can search by text, case name, date, description. You could limit your search just to the Supreme Court cases, or you could look at specific books about the Supreme Court, or you could search all the document types within this library. There's also a unique feature called a Venn diagram search. So let's try a Venn diagram search specifically within the Supreme Court library. This is very valuable for allowing your students to visualize what they're searching. And you can use this in all the different components of HeinOnline Academic. You can also use it specifically when you're searching case law. So in this case, I'm going to do a search. I was looking at Roe versus Wade. So let's look at the concept of privacy and abortion, and let's put another term, reproduction in here. So now we're doing a search within just the Supreme Court library for those terms, and you're going to see how these are visually represented with the sets that we're going to get in our results. And this assumes that my computer will respond. And here we are, we have the results, and this is just in the Supreme Court library here. So this is the set on the results for privacy, and this is the interactive results. So we have the results for the term privacy. Notice it's a pretty big circle here. We have the results for the term abortion. It's a smaller circle, but it's still significant. We have the results for the word reproduction, and that's another set of information and the results. Now, of course, if you were doing an OR search, this would be this circle and plus this circle plus this circle. But if you're doing an AND search, which we are doing, we want to see just documents where these terms interact. So if we wanted to know just what documents, what Supreme Court cases had privacy and abortion, you would click here, and now we just have the results for privacy and abortion. If we wanted just the results for privacy and reproduction, we can go here. If we wanted just abortion and reproduction, we would go here. And this here is where the intersection between privacy, abortion, and reproduction are, and it changes your results here to the right. So now you have specific results just on that Venn diagram search. So that is one useful thing. Other things you can do in the advanced search aspect when you're researching in here, you could just do a regular proximity type search. For example, if you were looking for something like right to an attorney, and you wanted to see within 25 of another term, I don't know, first term that came to me is Gideon. We could put that in, or we could specifically look for Gideon, and you could do a search that way. You could limit the years, etc. Now we have another source of case law called Fastcase, which is integrated into HeinOnline. You can look for it up here under case law. There are two ways you get case law in HeinOnline. One is the Supreme Court library. The other is through Fastcase. And then to get the Fastcase premium features, which is an add-on, you just click on Fastcase Premium. So with Fastcase, you can search by case name, citation, keywords, description, author, party, docket number, court abbreviation, date. You could also do a Venn diagram search. And so if you wanted to see a case that had something regarding marijuana, and legalization, say within 25 of legalization, you could do a search here. You could limit to a specific state court if you wanted. For example, you could pick California or whatever your state is. You could limit the dates. For example, you could say, I only want to see cases from 2000 to 2021, and then you could search accordingly. Now, I've never done this specific search within this part of the database, so I don't know if there's going to be a lot of results, but let's see. Yeah, so there are 357 results, and you can see we have all sorts of cases. And if you wanted to limit it after the fact to jurisdiction, you could just go here to the jurisdiction and pick what you want. You could limit to the specific state or location here. You could, if you wanted the case to mention a specific person, for example, Barack Obama, you just click here and you can put that in. Or if you wanted to mention a specific organization, you could go there. Of course, you could search any terms you want with to find case law. And here's just an example of what the case would look like, and the case comes in through Fastcase. And now we have a Fastcase full text case. Once again, it has blue hypertext linking, so any document, any article that's cited in here is blue hypertext linked. You can go to right here to this Supreme Court case that's cited within here, and boom, you click on that and it would go to this. Or if it's an article, or if it's a statute, or if it's a government document that we have, any of those things are hypertext linked. Now, let's say you're going and doing a citation search. So let's say we're looking for a specific lower court federal case, 367 F 3rd 594. We happen to know the case citation, so we're looking at that case. And here we have the case, Stump v. Mitchell, actually Stump v. Mitchell, and it's the full text case. Notice it's cited by 46 other cases. You can go to that. You can save this in MyHein. You can get a PDF download of this if you want. And notice that there's negative treatment indicated. And this is called bad law bot. And this is sort of Fastcase's answer to shepherdizing or to key cite, using key cite on Westlaw. And it basically allows you to know if a case has been overturned or overruled. So we know that Stump v. Warden for Stump v. Mitchell here has been overturned or overruled. And if we want, so we want to go from the full text case here, we'll go to the negative treatment that's indicated. And this is going to take you to the cases that overrule or overturn those cases. And then you can go to the full text of any of these cases and then see if they've been overruled or overturned. And in that way, you can find out whether the case law that you're looking at is in fact still good law, or if it's been overruled or overturned. So that's just something to be aware of. There's one other collection that I want to point out to you, and that is, and I think I'm going to go in my other case, my other account, because that has this case. This is an add-on, and it's called Preview of U.S. Supreme Court Cases. This is very, very valuable. It's very inexpensive, but it's very valuable in that it's going to tell you, give you a look at the briefs of the upcoming roster of Supreme Court cases. If I can remember my password on this, let's try this. Try more time here. And here we are. So I'm going to show you preview of U.S. Supreme Court cases. If you need a description of it, you just click on here. This is from the ABA, and for years they just published it, and we took it over, I don't know, about 3 years ago, I'm going to say. And it allows you to get an advanced view of what the upcoming cases that the Supreme Court is facing. So if you want to say, hey, what are the cases related to something like Roe versus Wade, the cases that deal with abortion, or the cases that deal with subjects related to Citizens United? What are those upcoming cases for the upcoming period? So let's just give you a quick look at like the kind of things in here. And this is based on an actual print publication, but it's fully searchable. And I'll just open this one to give you an example of what it looks like. And this is going to give you a look, an advanced look, which is great for courses dealing with very controversial issues that are before the Supreme Court, whether we're talking about gender rights, whether we're talking about civil rights. And this is preview of United States Supreme Court cases. And this is fully searchable. So if you want to see, is there anything that relates to Roe, you could put Roe in here, and you could search within here, and you could print out a document from here. So this is just another element, in addition to having full text, fully searchable case law from the Supreme Court case, which we have in HeinOnline, and then through the Fastcase. In addition to that, we have the ABA publication preview of US Supreme Court cases, which is a great way to give you a head start on looking, on searching something like that. Of course, you can use, because we're talking about researching case law, you can research case law by starting even in a place like the Law Journal Library. It's often our most cited, it's our most cited collection. And that's what, because you could put in something like Plessy and Brown and the term separate but equal, and you can get a whole bunch of articles that can guide you in the right direction as far as finding the kind of case law, in this case, civil rights case law that you're looking for. And you can seamlessly link from any of the articles you find to that case law. Here's an interesting article on segregation in public education, the decline of Plessy versus Ferguson. Notice over here, it's been cited by 25 other articles, but it's actually even been cited by a case. That's right, this article has been cited in a case, and you can go seamlessly to there and look at that case. And we know this article is pretty important. It's been accessed 23 times in a rolling period on HeinOnline. Of course, here we have a whole taxonomy for you, where you can look at the different topics that are covered in this article, whether we're talking about race, ethnicity, culture, sociology, philosophy and ethics, law, education, different subjects and different topics. We have more about this in a blog article if you want to see how we've been organizing our taxonomy. But basically we have categories, we have subjects and topics, which is just another great finding tool for finding things throughout HeinOnline. So not only can you find case law by going into the US Supreme Court case law library, and not only can you find it by using Fastcase or by even using the Fastcase basic that comes with HeinOnline Academic to seamlessly link to citations or seamlessly link to citations within another document. But in addition to that, you can use other parts of HeinOnline, such as the Law Journal Library, or even something like legal classics, any cases that are cited in legal classics. You can go straight from legal classics to the case law. And that's a big way that HeinOnline gives you extra value, because not only do we have the most extensive Law Journal Library available and has related topics, but we also have the full text, the full Supreme Court case law, the full, all the supporting government documents, as well as lower federal court, and as well as state case law. So I think I have a lot of chat questions in here, so I do want to look at some of those.
I was trying to address a lot of those throughout the presentation you see.
Okay, great. So I want to cover some great things that you can use when you have questions. You always should know that we have this live chat. So let's say you're on HeinOnline, you want to find case law, you don't know how to find it, you just saw what I showed you, but you need a refresher or something like that. You can always live chat us from 8:30 to 6, Monday through Friday Eastern time. And so for most of you, this is going to have good overlap with your schedule. Obviously, most hours are for the East Coast, but even if you're in Hawaii, there's overlap. Even if you're in Australia, there's some overlap. So definitely take advantage of that, 8:30 to 6 Eastern time, Monday through Friday. And also do fill out a MyHein profile if you're a subscriber or if you're on trial, so that you can save your bookmark things. You can get table of contents alerts. You can really be able to remember. You can put together stuff for a syllabus. You can, it's just a great organizing tool. And some faculty actually have multiple MyHein accounts for different subjects. But you don't need to have multiple, because you can organize it in different ways. Some happen to have multiple MyHein accounts. Of course, that's free, and no one's obligated to have a MyHein profile. If you want to see, because we're updating all these collections on HeinOnline all the time, including case law, if you want to see what we've updated in HeinOnline in a given month, you can look at new content this month, monthly content releases. So definitely track that. If you want help, go to us, and you can always contact us. In addition to the help, the chat line, you can give us feedback. We love positive and negative feedback. Most of our greatest ideas have come from positive or negative feedback. So if you think something should be a different color, and if our product development folks like it, your idea, they might run with it. And we're a small enough company that we can run with ideas relatively fast. So do not hesitate to give us ideas. We have a whole series of LibGuides. So if you want a LibGuide for your website, if you're a subscriber or you're going to be a subscriber, definitely feel free to use our LibGuides on the various components of HeinOnline. We have a whole knowledge base. Definitely take advantage of getting on this knowledge base, because we have a whole video series on how to research things. This Quimby series, there's a company called Quimby that approached us about doing a video series. There's a whole series of 5-minute videos or so with professional announcers and some animation. And you can go right to those here. I mean, how do I find a case? How do I find an article? How do I find a government document? And all these kinds of different subjects, retrieving case law, searching by citation that we've done, and your students will love them because they're right to the point. And then we did our own series of training videos. They tend to be longer. You notice that I tend to ramble, so these are more likely to be rambling if they have me on there. So they're not as to the point of Quimby, but they're in many ways more in depth as well. So you have 2 types of videos at your fingertips. If you want to use Google type searching on HeinOnline, we have a sensitive enough algorithm that you can do that. But some librarians like to use a lot of Boolean. You can do that. You can you could use no Boolean, or you can go here to our advanced search syntax and you can use all sorts of Boolean. If you want to know how much our user rules, how much you can download at one time, other user rules, just go to our user rules here. If you want to search for our accessibility guidelines, you can search throughout here. So definitely very valuable. Even if you needed to have a guide to using MyHein or a comprehensive user guide, we have that too. Or searching 101, really good stuff in here. And then I recommend you look at our blog. All of you should definitely get our free blog, because this is gonna show you things on HeinOnline that you never thought of, perhaps. Like, for example, here is how to use HeinOnline to find the most inspiring presidential speeches in American history. You can search all of this US history material on HeinOnline, and the presidential library is both part of the core as well as HeinOnline Academic. So you can search the most inspiring presidential speeches in American history. Some of you watch the show The Crown, and you can research things like the British monarchy in HeinOnline. Some of you want to use MyHein as a bookmarking tool when you research. Here's a whole article we did just in the last couple of weeks about using MyHein. We love our Venn diagram feature, and many of our customers do. We want you to really take advantage of that. So here's a tip that we did a few weeks ago on performing a Venn diagram search. We're constantly adding new content at no charge to HeinOnline Academic and to the US Academic Core. For example, American Society for Political and Legal Philosophy. We added that at no charge. It just appeared. It's an additional database. We'll never charge for it. And it was added to this collection. So if you subscribe to HeinOnline Academic, you're getting this and other databases, which will be added later at no additional charge. If you want to see, since we're always adding new journals, we tell you what's new in each month. So we've added new content January 2021, and here we update you on the new content. Or if you're researching a current event like the whole GameStop controversy, you can research that on HeinOnline. So this article shows you how to do that. And just to emphasize the fact that our legal classics collection is no longer purely just law. In fact, there's lots of philosophy and sociology and criminology in our legal classics collection. We even just put the Great Gatsby in there. So we have an article telling how we added the Great Gatsby to our legal classics collection. Sort of an unusual point, but we did do a blog article on it, so I thought I would mention it. If you're looking for a review of all the many things we added in 2020, such as our COVID collection, such as our executive privilege collection, such as our presidential impeachment collection, all of these things you can research in the 2020 year in review, and you'll see just how many features we added. And of course, HeinOnline Academic and US Academic Core, that has the congressional serial set. You can research so many things in the congressional serial set. It's a treasure trove of information. For example, you want to research the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico? Boom, we show you how in our Secrets of the Serial Set. If you want to research something like compulsory vaccination, not only in the current pandemic vaccination, but in the history of compulsory vaccination, you can research that in HeinOnline. So that's something to be aware of. legislative histories. It goes on and on. Some of you have business programs. You can research something like Enron or a concept like corporate governance in HeinOnline. So we show you this blog because it's really a useful thing that you can get for free, and subscribe to it. And then you can always be abreast of what we're adding to HeinOnline, and which we're constantly doing. So thank you so much. We're pretty much at the end. I'm sure Tim has answered most of the questions. Tim, do we have time to answer one question, or are we out of time?
I think we've got most of the questions covered. People were looking for the branding link. I put that in the chat, but we'll also include that in the email that we send around afterwards. We'll also send you all a link to the recorded webinar, just so you have that available. And I think that was what we covered. Most of the big ones.
Perfect. And I just want to apologize for the little bit of internet trouble I had. It's kind of unpredictable, but I was hoping that we weren't going to have any, but I think we overcame it. So I'm glad I was able to show you some things. And thank you everyone for attending. Have a nice day.